Welcome back to another episode of Clash of Cultures. My name is Steven. I'm here with my dad, Kelvin. We're going to be continuing on with the 2023 college football preview series. Today, we're going to be stopping and doing the Pittsburgh Panthers, the 2021 ACC champions. Looking to kind of get back.
I didn't know what you were trying to.
Yeah, looking to get back on the crown here in the ACC. But before we get into any of the football talk, as always, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as well. Hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss an upload. Our comment of the day goes to I Am Christelle from the top 5 SEC quarterbacks video. He says, this intro was hard, y'all. Ever since y'all Tennessee preview, I've been hooked. Keep grinding. Can't wait to see y'all throughout the start of the season. Thank you so much, Chris, for kind of rocking with us, coming back every day, checking out the videos. Make sure you guys turn on notifications. Comment down below as soon as we drop the video so you guys can be featured on the comment of the day. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Pittsburgh Panthers. This one was I would say, a wanted video, a clamored about video throughout our channel. We had two guys ask for the Pitt preview in the last couple of weeks or so, or last week or so. So we're going to get right into it. Dad, how do you think about, or how do you feel about Pitt and their outlook for the season this year?
I'm going to just start this off hot. I don't know why these people were asking for this video because Pitt is not going to be good. A lot of turnover with the Panthers. They lost their starting quarterback last year, transferred out to Slovis, transferred out to BYU. They lost their starting running back, a guy who went for 1,400 yards. I'm not even going to butcher this man's name. But
Abanaconda.
Really, how you say it? Say it again.
Abanaconda, 20 touchdown guy.
Abanaconda, yeah. So the heart and soul of that offense. They lost their number one receiver, 1,000-yard receiver Wayne. We will talk about the players that they are bringing back, but they had a pretty decent season last year. I believe, unless their transfer quarterback and some of the guys who were part of the two deep last year can really step up, Pitt may be in for a very tough season because they also have a very tough schedule. What's your thoughts?
So this is comment section down below. Bookmark this video. This is the first video that my dad and I are completely opposite. He thinks this team's going to be really bad. I don't think this team is going to be great or excellent. I had a few people in the comment section a few days ago said that Pitt was going to win the ACC. I don't believe that at all. But I don't think they're going to drop off a cliff. I don't think they're going to be the worst.
Somebody said they're going to win the ACC.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we have to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of these people who are commenting are obviously, fans of these teams. So you have to look at it from a non-biased perspective, obviously. But just before we get into roster makeup, as you guys can see last year, 9-4 to end the season, if I'm counting correctly, with a close overtime loss to Tennessee. Obviously, this is a completely different team, so I'm not comparing that portion. But coming into this year, they're ranked number 35 on the Football Power Index. ESPN has them projected to go about 7-5. With an 8% chance to win the ACC. 8% chance is kind of high.
I think that's very high.
When you look at, I'm almost positive Louisville had a lower percentage. NC State, who we're dropping tomorrow, I'm pretty sure they have a lower percentage. I think the only two teams with higher percentage is Clemson and Florida State. I think North Carolina has like a 6% chance. So Pitt has a really high chance. So ESPN sees something in them. The media sees something in them. And I mean, I'm kind of on that same wavelength. I don't think they should have a better chance than North Carolina, though, or Louisville for that matter. But I don't think this team's going to be terrible. But just to kind of get into the next slide, talk about the roster makeup. As my dad highlighted, they did lose a lot. They lost their starting quarterback, Caden Slovis. They lost their starting running back in Abanaconda. Then you lose Kalijah Kancey to the Bucks in the draft. You lose Servakia Dennis. I believe he's in the NFL now. John Morgan, I believe, transferred. You lose a lot of guys on defense, and then obviously your three main skill positions in your quarterback, running back, wide receiver. But I'm going to go kind of the opposite way of you. Oh, go ahead.
So let me ask, though, because as I look at this, right, you've lost basically all of the major production. So where is your optimism coming from?
So I don't think they had that tough of a schedule. When you're talking about the ACC, they don't play the two top dogs in the ACC in Clemson or they play Florida State, don't play Clemson. I'm sorry. So I think when you look at their schedule, I think there's some guaranteed losses on there, but there's a lot of swing games. I don't think in 2021 Pitt came in as a team that everybody thought was going to make the ACC championship game. And not only did they make it, but they beat Clemson. So I think when you look at it in that light, I think not only is there's a lot of question marks surrounding the ACC, there's a lot of question marks surrounding this team, but I don't think these players, other than Abanikanda, who had a crazy year last year, I don't think any of these players that we named are irreplaceable. I think
Slovis didn't play great.
Yeah, and I think Djokovic coming over from Boston College, he's not a great quarterback, but I think him and Slovis are comparable. It's not like he's coming up in I guess talent. He's playing in the same conference. Pitt is comparable to Boston College. They probably have a better offense than Boston College does. So I mean, I think he'll be fine. But what were your thoughts? Go ahead.
But I mean, he also lost Jared Wayne, 1,000-yard receiver, and that's why I say they lost probably their best defender in Kansas.
He was definitely their best defender.
So
he was the best. Yeah. I think he won the Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. If not, then he was the defensive lineman in the ACC.
Yeah. So in some capacity, you've lost your starting quarterback again, and Slovis did not have a great year. I think he only threw 10 touchdowns. But you lost a monster in the backfield who literally was the heart and soul of your offense. Your number one receiver, you're bringing in a new guy, and I don't think you are replacing what it is you lost. Like I said, especially in the backfield.
So they did lose Jared Wayne, who was their number one. But I don't know if that was kind of by default. It's not. I mean, obviously they lost Jordan Addison, and that was like a big hit the year before last year.
That was the year before.
Yeah, he was. But what I mean by that is he was a household name. He was a guy who
he won the Blitnikoff.
Yeah, like he was considered a top wide receiver in the nation. Mm-hmm. I don't believe Jared Wayne was a top wide receiver in the nation. They're still bringing back Kanata Muntfield and Bub Means. They're bringing both of those guys back, who were number 2 and 3 guys. So I think just that alone, I think they can solve the production loss in losing Jared Wayne. You bring over Dejon Reynolds from Florida. I'm not sure what kind of production he had at Florida, but he's Go ahead.
Yeah, at Florida, he only had 11 receptions, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Okay, so I mean, he's still an SEC caliber wide receiver. Not to say he's going to come in and have Addison type numbers, but I think having another guy to kind of plug in and play there, I think they'll be fine there. Like I said, Djokovic isn't the best quarterback in the world, but I think he can pick up where Slovis left off. I think the biggest question mark is going to be at the running back position with Israel Abanikanda leaving. You bring over Derek Davis Jr. from LSU. He's a converted safety. He's not even a true running back, so he was a safety at LSU.
Right.
He just started playing running back last season, didn't get many carries, so I don't know how that's going to work. I think he's penciled in as like the 2nd or 3rd string running back right now, so I don't even know how much of an impact he's going to have. But I mean, we'll just have to see. Their recruiting class isn't the best as well. I don't think this team is – has championship aspirations by any means. But Pat Narduzzi is a good coach. I know he had that whole kind of media outpouring or outspill towards Deion Sanders with how Deion Sanders kind of handled the whole situation with the transfer portal. So Pitt has kind of been, I wouldn't say Pitt, I would say Narduzzi has been under light for that more so than his coaching this offseason. But I mean, I think this team is going to be fine. Getting into the predictions though, this is completely separated from the two of us. So I had the floor at 6-6, ceiling at 10-2, with the final prediction of 8-4. Obviously, you have 3-9, 8-4, 5-7. The way I see it is, I think there are so many swing games on this schedule. The first one being Cincinnati. We both obviously gave the edge to Pitt in this game, but I think that game could go either way. Go ahead. You have something to say?
No. I'm just agreeing. I agree.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I think that game can go the way. I would favor them at West Virginia, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lost that game as well. I do have North Carolina beating them. Those of you guys who watched the preview for the North Carolina video, I think North Carolina is just a better team than them. I mean, again, I don't know why they have a lower chance to win the conference. It may be just because of scheduling, the way that ended out. I think they beat Virginia Tech. Those of you guys who watched the Louisville video, or Louisville, I'll say it that way. Let me correct myself.
Is it Louisville?
Yeah, everybody was honest about that. But
it's Louisville.
But I'm very high on them this year. They have the best jerseys in college football. Those of you guys who missed that preview. Wake Forest, I think they're going to be down, losing Sam Hartman. So I anticipate them winning that game. And then obviously the next 2 games are the 2 games that I don't think they can win in Notre Dame and Florida State. But then I have them winning the last 3. So that's why I have them 8-4. I don't think that gets them into the ACC title game. But I think 8-4 is respectable. They were 9-4 last year, so they could end up finishing 9-4 after a bowl game this year. That's how I see them. But how do you figure they end up 5-7?
Yeah. So my concern is, like you said, I think they play a bunch of good teams. Again, good, not great. They play some great teams. And I will say in a number of these games, I would not be shocked if Pitt was able to put it together and win some of these games. But like you said, some of these games, I'm not going to call them 50-50, but they were toss-up type games. You could go, I went Louisville because you have sung the praises of Louisville. So I gave them a little bit of credit. The games that I don't think they can win is North Carolina, Notre Dame, Florida State, and Duke. That's how I got to my ceiling of 8-4. And it's funny because you don't have them beating Duke, but I think Duke is going to be really good this year.
I do have them beating Duke.
I mean, I'm saying I have them. I'm sorry, you have them beating Duke. But yeah, I think Duke is going to be really good this year. And then it was some toss-up games, right? And I could have went either way in the West Virginia game, the Syracuse game, and you kind of name it. And what I did is kind of, I kind of went 50-50 to me on the toss-up games, and that put me at 5-7. And again, when I factor in a whole new cast at key positions, at quarterback, at wide receiver, at your starting running back, at your money-making defensive player, I just think it may take a minute for it to gel, and I think this is going to be a down year for Pitt.
Yeah, I could probably see them anywhere between our prediction. I think if they go 5-7, that would be crazy though. Because I mean, you guys see my floor at 6-6. That would mean that they're going to be worse than what I think my absolute worst vision of them would be. So that would be crazy.
I mean, and my question to Pitt fans is and I know you mentioned some of them said they had them winning the ACC. I'm just asking, and I'm not even asking this with malice. I'm asking this out of seriousness. Where do you see, or where do you get the optimism from? Same question I asked Steven, because like I said, when I seen the roster turnover, especially in the key players from last year, had a very good year last year. But when I see the roster turnover at the key player positions, I'm left concerned.
Okay, so that is our Pitt preview. But before we head out, we did not forget, guys. We're going to go ahead and do our trivia today. We're going to try at the back end of the video, just so that way it's after the meat and potatoes of the content we put out. But I have the trivia today just to kind of get it done really quick. The trivia question for today is going to be, again, 5 NFL players. Can you name the college they went to? All right, so the first player we're going to start off with is, we're going to start off easy. We're going to start off with, who should we go with here? T. Higgins.
Clemson.
Okay, the next player we're going to go with is Travis Kelce.
Cincinnati.
Okay, let's go a little bit harder here. The next one we're going to go with is Chris Jones, defensive tackle for Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh. Like Syracuse?
He's in the SEC.
Alabama?
No, he played with a top starting quarterback in the NFC, who gets kind of a lot of criticism. He went viral for doing a dance. A dance.
Oh, you talking about Kirk? No, he didn't.
He went viral for doing a dance in pregame that was a stretch, but people made fun of it.
I have no idea. Who are you talking about?
Dak Prescott.
Oh, Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
Oh,
right, that's number 3. So 2 of 3. Number 4. Where did Mike Evans go?
Texas A&M.
All right, number 5. Let's find a really hard one. Where did? I'm trying to think of a really good one here. Where did DK Metcalf go to school? That's probably not a hard one.
Oh, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. All right, that's 4 or 5. That's not bad. That's our trivia for the day. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe down below, as well as hit that notification bell. We post every single day, college football videos every single day. We want to see you guys here. Again, we have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway coming hopefully in the next month if you guys get us there. As well as we're going to start doing live stream videos once a week. So we want to make sure you guys are there as well. Help us kind of predict and depict, I should say, how the conversations go in those lives. Let you guys kind of narrate it and kind of give us our route on how we're going to talk every week. But as always, we will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.